You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV, Switched at Birth, After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV, Switched at Birth, After Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Switched at Birth AFTERBUZZ After Show. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. With me today is not Melina Alves, but it is Jesse Klein.
Hi everyone.
Who has never seen Switched at Birth.
Nope.
Nor is he aware of what the premise is.
I'm guessing people get switched at birth.
All right, so you're already ahead of the people who've never heard the show.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Sure.
I'm glad to not be doing this alone.
Yeah. I'll give you whatever insight I can possible.
Great. So I want to start the episode with the Regina Catherine plotline. Catherine, who is one of the moms of the girls who switched, and Regina is the other mom. Catherine wrote a book, and she's flown out to New York City for a book party. She's flown out, and she has a +1, so she brings Regina with her, not her husband.
Okay.
But someone else.
Okay.
Why do you think it might be that someone would fly out someone who's not their husband?
Probably because there's some tension in that relationship. Is what my estimation would be. Did she tell her husband that she was flying someone else?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But maybe to make him, to spite him.
I like that you're putting together these two women flew out together, and the song that we just heard, and you've assumed that there was tension.
Yeah. Oh, you think? Oh, these two love each other?
Oh man, so good! This is really fun. I hope the audience is enjoying this as much as I am.
Wait. So these two moms of two girls who have been switched at birth are also in love with each other.
They're not in love with each other, but they go to this book party where we find out that Catherine's publisher is a lesbian, and there's a creepy man whose name is Chris Washburn, and he apparently had an affair with one of the moms, with Catherine, the author.
Okay.
That's something we find out, which blew my mind that she had cheated, especially because the fans totally believed that her husband cheated up until now. And I speak for the fans saying that I believe that, not necessarily the fans actually believe that.
Yeah.
And so the only way to get rid of creepy Chris Washburn is for them to pretend that they're lesbians.
Oh.
So you put it all together.
So there's the real lesbian publisher, and then these two moms pretending to be lesbians.
Pretending to be lesbians.
Okay, I think that's a good way to get someone to stop paying attention to you if you don't want them to.
I disagree, and here's why.
Okay, let me see.
Because when you pretend to be a lesbian with someone there, including like a kiss and touching each other, he's not going anywhere. He's staying to watch.
Really, I'd respect him. I feel like it's 2014. It's not 2001.
They're in Kansas. I mean, I guess they're flowing out to New York.
Yeah. In New York, that seems like it would be not a thing where you'd be like, oh yeah, let's look at these lesbians. It's not 2001 anymore where it's like lesbianism was sensationalized and everything like that. I feel like it's, oh, these two like each other. Okay, I'm off it. But I'm not Chris Washburn, this creeper.
Well, Chris Washburn apparently had they had a tryst in a train bathroom. And now he knows that she's married and she's writing this dirty novel. And now he sees her with a woman, but he knows that she's married to a man. So the rumors spread real fast.
Yeah, sure.
That they are in some open relationship.
Oh no.
Which, how do you feel about open relationships? Let's discuss that.
I don't really have any strong opinions about it. I feel like if you're in a relationship and that's the way it is, and if it works for you, then that's good. And if you don't have trust issues and you just are like, yeah, I think love is free, then that's fine. I've never been in an open relationship.
Would you consider it?
I think if I liked the person enough and it was something that was important to them, I think I'd do it, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I used to make jokes about that all I would want in life is an open relationship as a teen and in college.
Yeah.
And as I got older, I thought more and more about it. And when you really look at it as this is a primary relationship and they have other relationships and it's all about consent and conversations and communication.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I would actually consider.
As a teen, I definitely wouldn't have wanted an open relationship because I could barely handle one woman. Just the thought of like having to keep a calendar and like having to deal with more than one woman would have been way too much for teenage Jesse.
I like that teenage Jesse couldn't keep a calendar.
Oh, barely. Adult Jesse can barely keep a calendar. If smartphones did not exist, I would never be anywhere on time. I have a series of alerts just to let me know to check my calendar.
Yeah.
Like, just know where to be. So, yeah, if I had a smartphone in high school, I still wouldn't have been able to do one. But yeah, if it was someone I cared enough about it, I've never thought of it as an option for myself, but if the person I cared enough cared for was into it, then I think I'd at least consider it.
There used to be a show on MTV called Undressed, I believe. Yeah, I think it was called Undressed.
Okay.
And there was a character, I guess you've never seen this show.
No.
I was going to ask you about the show.
Yeah.
There was a woman who apparently was only polyamorous and would only be in open relationships. And that was like the first time I'd seen it on TV and been discussed.
Yeah.
And I think that it really paved the way for a show that's on ABC Family to even consider bringing up the topic, whether it's true or not.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, for a show, when you told me the show is on ABC Family, you have already introduced a lot of themes that I was like, I did not think this would be on an ABC Family show.
Oh, yeah.
That's really interesting. I actually one time was propositioned to be part of a polyamorous relationship. I'd gone on a date with a girl for a few dates, and she was like, okay, I have to tell you, I have 5 boyfriends that I live with, and they're not allowed to date anyone else. They all just date me. And if you like want to keep doing this, that's fine, but you have to know that like you have to share me with 5 other guys.
It sounds really unbalanced.
It seems really unbalanced. I said no, thank you.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I wish whoever she is luck
Yeah.
in her life.
I'm sure she's doing great. She has 5 guys waiting on her
Yeah,
hand
apparently.
and foot. She's doing great.
So the reason Catherine brings Regina on this trip to begin with is because in the most recent storyline of Switched at Birth, Regina's husband, Angelo, died.
Oh.
And so she's mourning. That's actually why she took her. And that we'll get into how people are mourning and dealing with grief in a moment. But one of my favorite lines is when they finally... Catherine and Regina are finally relaxing and letting loose, and they're talking about Angelo and the death. And Regina says, Catherine feels really guilty about sleeping with Chris Washburn. And so Regina, to cheer her up, says to her, well, I slept with Angelo the first night I met him. But then again, who didn't? And it just is a nice way to play back that, hey, Angelo wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not supposed to talk ill of the dead.
It's not like they're going to hear it.
That's true.
It's not going to hurt them.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is ditch day. So the girls are in school,
Gotcha.
Bae and Daphne.
Best friends?
No.
Rivals?
No. They're
Enemies?
sisters of sorts.
Okay.
These are the people that have been switched
Yeah,
at
okay.
birth.
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right. So Daphne is deaf. Bae is not.
Okay.
But Bae is dating Emmett, who is deaf. There's like a whole bunch of, it's a mishmash, deaf, hearing,
Okay.
hard of hearing.
I know a
all
little
great.
bit of sign language.
That's okay. Don't do it, because I don't trust what you know.
No, it's completely innocent. It's my favorite thing.
Okay.
It's spaghetti is this.
Thank you.
That's spaghetti.
Thanks.
Yep.
If we're going to share our favorite signs, mine was helicopter.
Whoa, never learned that one before.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, actually, my co-host Melina and I both are fluent in sign language.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the school, it's almost graduation, and the seniors decide to have a ditch day, and they go to a place called Hawkeye Ranch, which is actually not a ranch, nor does it have anything to do with hawks. It's kind of like a theme park or like a county fair.
Okay, like Knoxbury Farm or something like that.
Sure.
Where it's not a farm there.
It's not. Oh, okay. I don't know.
Okay.
I've never been to Knott's Berry. But they decide this place is boring without alcohol. So Daphne calls.
How old are they?
They're 18.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Daphne calls Nacho. Now Nacho is
My favorite character already.
Ours too. Nacho is a thug, air quotes, and a gangbanger, air quotes, ABC Family.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay. So he, of course, brings the beer.
Okay.
And Nacho has been vandalizing Regina's work, which is Daphne's mom.
Yeah.
Well, one of the moms.
Yeah, I get it.
And so
What has he been doing to vandalize it?
he threw a brick through her works business, through the window of
Okay.
her office. And last episode, Daphne and Nacho went to the construction site they were about to break ground on and vandalized the whole place, spray painted and tore up things, and then put sand. Genius, actually, and I say that as a terrible thing. They put sand in the gas tank of like the.
Oh, the big construction vehicles?
Yes, thank you. I was like, the thing with the things.
So Daphne's not in on the work either. She's not excited about it?
No, so Daphne is acting out.
Okay.
And in this episode, we see her really continue to spiral out of control. So she calls Nacho to bring the beer.
Yeah.
Nacho brings his friends, including apparently his girlfriend, even though it is assumed that last episode Nacho and Daphne had sex.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. She's not a virgin, so it wasn't like the first time or anything.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not that.
So she didn't lose her virginity to a guy named Nacho.
No. Well, let's not judge people who have, because Nacho is a name.
No, it's a great name.
Great. So Nacho, thankfully Bay is there and yells at Daphne about what is she doing with Nacho, because they went and approached him earlier on in the season and asked him why he was vandalizing and why he was so against it. And so thank you, Bay, for really stepping up. If you saw your friend with someone that you know is not a good egg,
Yeah.
would you say something to them, or would you sit back and hope that they figure it out?
I think it's your responsibility as a friend, right? Like if you think someone's in trouble, you should let them know. Like
Listeners.
Yeah, listeners, listen to me right now. If you see your friend in trouble, go up to him and say, "Stop being a dummy. You're being dumb right now."
Nice.
Because that'll make them defensive, which is the best way to get into someone's head. And
It's the best way to start.
yeah, and just be like, it's bothering me that you're hurting. Like, it would bother me if I saw my friend hurting themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's on you as a friend to say something, because it's better to like have them be angry at you, but to at least call them out on it than not calling them out on it and like they get hurt somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well put.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
So while we're at the ranch, Hawkeye Ranch, drinking beer and whatnots, of course.
Are they like hiding it? Like
Yeah. So Daphne was pouring her beer into like one of the like soda cups,
sure.
but no one else was.
So not really hiding it.
No, like
Okay.
she was like, they were like, you can't just walk around with that. She's like, I got this, and pours it into her cup.
And then
no
everyone
one-
else has
yeah.
their bottles,
It's cans.
cans. Of
And
course,
it looked
it's high
like
school.
really cheap, like gross. I don't know what, it didn't have a brand, but it
Yeah.
just looked gross.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably warm.
Yeah, it's been in someone's backpack.
Yeah. Ugh.
So
I don't miss those days.
so when Daphne realizes that Nacho has a girlfriend, she takes the beer and leaves. She's like, F you, I'm taking this beer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Because that's what you do, ladies. If you find out he cheats on you,
Take his beer.
yeah, you take his beer.
Yeah.
He clearly has access to it, you don't.
Yeah.
I'm telling you bad things
It's
to
really
do.
bad advice for
Yeah.
an underage person.
And on the other side, we see Mandy in air quotes. So let me explain who Mandy in air quotes is.
Okay.
All right. Bay's boyfriend, Emmett, was catfished last season.
Oh, great.
Or last half season.
Yeah.
By a girl named Mandy. Turns out Mandy is not a real
Mandy.
person.
Yeah.
Well, it is a real person, but not
It's
Mandy.
not Mandy. Yeah.
In fact, her cousin was the one who was, a male cousin was catfishing.
Oh, wow.
But apparently when real Mandy, whose name I have no idea what it is, found out about this, she read all the emails and saw how much Emmett was in love with fake Mandy.
Yeah.
And broke up with her own boyfriend because she realized that if she couldn't have love like that, what was it worth?
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a big move.
I know. And it's really mature for a child.
Well,
For like a high school girl to realize like somebody could love so much and be so open and passionate.
yes. I think on the surface that is mature, but I think chasing an ideal for something tangible is also very scary. Like she had a boyfriend who could eventually learn to love her, right? Like that's what relationships are, like where they grow. I don't know the story. If the guy was a complete jerkbag,
We don't know anything about him.
Oh, I'm going way in depth on a side story. Then I'm sorry, but like I don't know, like that's what relationships are for. Is like they grow and they change, and so
I don't believe you can learn to love someone.
No,
I believe you can learn to care a lot about them.
Yeah.
I think that love between two people in a relationship are you love, like you will figure out that you do love them.
Yeah.
And that it's not like you're with someone, eventually you'll love them.
Well, it's like on the first date or the first like month you're not in love with the person. So like sometimes I feel like that it takes time for that kind of trust and that kind of thing to come to fruition. If these are high school students,
yeah,
like I don't even know what high school students do for dating nowadays. What you
go to Hawkeye Ranch.
You just go to Hawkeye Ranch and drink warm beers.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing that we did in high school when I was okay. That's good.
Romantic.
Yeah.
So Bay, of course, is feeling threatened because this beautiful woman that Emmett thought he had a relationship with is like, hey, I'm available.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. But really what's going on with Bay underneath is that Angelo, who was her father, who died of an aneurysm.
Oh.
She found out that it's hereditary. Okay. She went to the doctor to find out if she has it because he's biologically her father. And at the ranch, Hawkeye Ranch, she gets a phone call from the doctor saying, come in, we want to talk to you about your results. Which could mean anything because they're not going to give you your results over the phone. Yeah. Like anyone who's ever had pretty much any test.
Yeah, they can't charge you if they give it to you over the phone. Yeah. So they got to bring you in.
Yeah. And that way, if they would just give it to you if it was negative over the phone, then you know when they say come in, you know it's positive. Yeah. So they can't.
They can't do that.
So she's freaking out about that. Her and Emmett have a fight. And Emmett points out in the last episode, she had to go to dinner with her ex-boyfriend's family, or father, really. Yeah. Because he didn't tell his father that he had depledged a fraternity and that they'd broken up. So she went to this date. So all of a sudden, Bay seems like she's super jealous of fake Mandy. And Emmett's like, you can't be jealous because you did this last week. Yeah. And I didn't care. I wasn't jealous and I dealt with it. Do you think that jealousy has to be equal?
I think by its nature it can't be, right? like people always talk about jealousy where it's like, oh, just don't be jealous. And it's like, if you're jealous, then you are, and you can't control it. It's an emotion. When I'm angry, I can't control that I'm angry. When I'm happy, I can't control it either. So, no, I don't think it's equal. If someone's jealous, then you just have to like sit down and be like, I'm sorry that I made you jealous. I brought these candies for you. Please don't be angry with me anymore. And then that's it.
Do you think jealousy is healthy for a relationship?
I think...
Because there are people who say that, you know, a little jealousy is healthy.
Yeah, I think maybe. I guess I'll be on board with that in theory. That just, like, if I was in a relationship with a girl and then, like, a girl started hitting on me and the girl I was with was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. I would kind of be upset with, like, what, you don't care that, like, that this girl could have, like, tried to pry me away from you? Like, so I think it's more about caring than jealousy. But unfortunately there's like a real thin line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What's your opinion?
This is gonna sound so silly to our listeners. I don't get jealous. Yeah. But I would feel offended if my partner didn't get jealous.
Yeah. Well, I think
it sounds so silly to say.
Well, I think double standards are where, like, in relationships, it's just full of double standards. I think that's just kind of part of the world. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely be upset if I had a partner who wasn't into, like, wasn't angry with me if like I started hitting on a girl or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, double standards for sure.
Yeah, that's where you live in a relationship.
That's where I live all the time.
Yeah, that's well.
So
Yeah.
they eventually finds out that she doesn't have it. She's fine.
Yeah.
But
Was he emailing Mandy?
With air quotes.
Was he emailing her while he was with?
No, they
Okay.
weren't together at the time.
All
Yeah,
right.
no, because that would have been a whole different story.
Yeah, that's inappropriate.
Right. Yes. So Bay's fine. She's but before she finds out that she's fine, the doctor's like, you should tell your family and you know, get a support system that you might die at any moment. And she's like, I don't want to tell them until I know the results.
Yeah, I think that's a good move.
Yeah, she's a dumb kid.
Okay.
And I say that, I love Bay, but she's constantly doing dumb things on the show. Which, I mean, you have to get drama. But she constantly does dumb things, and I think personally she should have told her family, hey, this is a possibility.
Maybe. I don't know. I think with my family, if I was like, oh man, there's a possibility that I could be dying any moment, but there's also a possibility that it isn't going to happen. I would much rather wait until I had concrete evidence
that it's possible.
That it actually might be something, because if not, then I feel like I would just be causing way too much drama.
Yeah. Well, that's how she feels. But unfortunately, she also happens to have a biological little sister who's a baby.
Oh no.
Who doesn't live with any of them. So she is a separate family.
Yeah.
She needs to know that this is a possibility.
Yeah.
And actually, someone left us a comment about that on the iTunes. So I'm going to take this moment to talk about iTunes. Hey, everybody. As you know, I and Melina, who's here usually, are clearly huge fans of this show. And so we come and do this after show because we love this show so much. And luckily, we had Jesse to step in today.
It's just in the studio.
So what you can do for us to let us know that we're doing a good job or that you never want Jesse back, one or the other, you can leave us a rating and review on iTunes. If you love our show, give us a 5-star rating. If you don't like our show, give us a 4-star rating. If you don't like that Jesse is here, that's a 4-star rating. But also you can leave us some comments, and we got some comments. And I would like to give out shout-outs to the wonderful people.
You're really making me into a villain on this show.
I'm not making you a villain. I just want the fans to know that they have a voice, and their voice will be heard.
Okay.
But if you did like Jesse on the show, that's great. We'll drag him back on the show and make him watch the show.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's a threat.
Okay.
So I want to give a shout-out to Oldies Buff, who said that they gave us 5 stars. Thank you. Nice. I hesitated to check this out because I haven't liked the AfterBuzzes for other shows. But I feel like this, I like this one, though, because 1, they seem to actually watch the show and like Switch to Birth, and we really do. And 2, we don't talk over each other or scream. They talk thoughtfully and intelligently about the plot and characters. Bravo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. That wasn't for you. Don't take it.
I know.
And so also Volley BB 1315, they said, yes, I love Switch to Birth and I love your show. I especially enjoy getting to see your opinions and disagreeing with them. Keep up the good work because I love listening when I'm driving. Keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Thank you.
And lastly, we have Jumper156, who said, I love it. But on yesterday's episode, I kept wondering if the whole open adoption thing with Abby, that's the baby, if the aneurysm runs in the family. So they're going to tell her. I don't know. They haven't approached it yet. And I think that if Bay doesn't in the next episode or so, that's a jerk move.
Yeah, it's a real jerk move.
It's a super jerk move.
Yeah.
So the other thing that happens while they're at the senior ditch day at Hawkeye Ranch is Travis, who is this character that we've met, who Daphne and him were kind of dating. He clearly liked Daphne a lot more.
Yeah. He's
now dating this other girl who's Bay's really good friend. And Daphne, after finding out that Nacho has a girlfriend and steals his beer, gets super drunk and kisses him.
Okay.
And he, in the promos up until this episode, it was all about them kissing and him kissing back. And instantly she kisses him and he goes, whoa, what are you doing? I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, misleading promo.
Real misleading promo.
Yeah. And do you think, knowing nothing about these characters...
Yeah, sure.
Do you think that it's really effed up of a girl, when knowing she's drunk, but knows that he likes her or liked her,
Yeah.
leading him on?
Yeah, I think I think a lot of times in these types of situations, using emotional weaponry like that is really not fair. Because that guy has a girlfriend now, but like for the in high school especially with crushes, like for the longest time, if he had a crush on this girl, and now like because this isn't the first time he's thought about this girl kissing him, like obviously he's thought about it millions of times, and now she does. Now he's gonna be all screwed up inside. This poor kid, he just wants to be a good guy, probably. I don't know him, but now he's got to like juggle these two emotions. Where now he's gonna be like, oh, maybe this girl that I've idealized for the last 2 years, now she's into me, and now my girlfriend, who I like a lot, but do I like her as much as this girl I've idealized?
Yeah.
And, man, it's a lose-lose situation for this guy.
Well, let's talk about how Travis is a good kid. He didn't get into Gallaudet, which is the deaf university in D.C.
Yeah.
He was one of the few kids, and he was offered a job. We found out this week what it was, because last week we just saw that it was like shipping or just manual labor in general. It was a job on the loading dock. So he drops out of high school.
Okay.
And he is a good kid. He realizes that maybe he can't do more with his life, that all he can do is go for this good job. It's better than what he thought he was going to get.
Yeah.
And it's a job that pays well, has benefits, overtime, time off, all of that. And they want him then and there.
What's his dream, though?
We don't know what his dream is.
Okay, then I say go for it.
But we know that he doesn't believe in himself and feels like he's always a burden.
Yeah.
And so that takes us to the other story of Melody, who is Emmett's mom. Emmett is Bay's.
Yeah, I remember Emmett.
Good. I'm making sure you're following.
Yeah, I got it.
Who happens to work at the school that they work at, and also decided last week that she's going to make a program through the local community college, and it's going to be a deaf studies program that is connected with Gallaudet University. And she fights to make this program for people like Travis who didn't get in, or for people who couldn't leave home because they had to stay close for whatever reason. And so she's working really hard on making this program. She doesn't want to tell him about the program until she has funding for it, because she doesn't want to get his hopes up.
Yeah.
It's kind of a parallel to Bay's aneurysm story.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm putting connections together. I got it.
Yeah. And so at the end of the episode, Melody reveals to Travis that she's doing this program. And he goes, it's too late. I already dropped out of school.
Yeah.
She works at the school. And she's like, you think I wouldn't have found out that you filled out the form to, like, drop out of school?
Yeah.
And then she just tears it up in front of him.
Whoa.
Like, you're going to this college.
Power move.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's just the mom of one of Travis's friends?
But Travis lives with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Minor detail.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, all of these relationships are very intertwined then. If Emmett and Travis are living with each other, okay.
You follow along?
Yeah, I'm following it. That's real intertwined.
Yes.
That's a power move, man.
Yeah.
Go to college.
Well, what do you think about, the forced decision that, Travis, you have to go to college. You can't just leave school and work.
Yeah.
What do you think about, there's a whole debate about whether people should be required to go to college, whether people should go to college to begin with.
Yeah.
How do you feel about college?
Speaking of someone who went to a conservatory, an acting conservatory, after going to a regular college.
A regular college, like a 2-year or 4-year?
I went to a 4-year college, but I dropped out to go to an acting conservatory.
Okay.
I'm very philosophical about all of this, where it's like, hey, if he's aimless, if he doesn't have anywhere to go, then I would say stick with the money until you figure out what you want to be, because at least he'll have a solid base.
But if he drops out of high school and then later decides he wants to go to college,
you can get a GED.
Okay.
And then you can go to college. But if he has like dreams and aspirations, and going to college is part of that, then screw the money, man. Go for your dreams.
Yeah.
Like, I 100% believe that, like, whatever you want to do with your life, you should just go for it, because you only get one shot at it. So go for it with both feet. Like, don't hesitate. So, If he doesn't know what he's doing yet, then stay with the money and just be comfortable. But if he does, then go for that.
Even without the money, though, he has a place to live. He has someone taking care of him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's on the street.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, in his mind, he probably believes that if he doesn't go to college, she will put him on the street.
And he thinks he's a burden,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yes.
so obviously he's going to go with the money because he thinks that he's like troubling his family or whatever, like having to cost money for them. So, yeah. I say follow your dreams, kids.
Yeah, follow your dreams.
Go for them. 2 feet forward.
Well, real quick, speaking of following your dreams, just want to wrap up the storyline. Emmett gets into USC. He's also got into Gallaudet, USC for the film school. And Bay, who doesn't know what she's doing with her life because she didn't get into the art school, tells Emmett, you should go to USC. I'm going to go with you. Not to USC, but move with you. And I don't have a plan, but that's what we're going to do because she's going to find her dream. And lastly, we find out that Regina got the life insurance from Angelo's death, and it's $1 million. And she has donated to the program privately, anonymously. And so that's why the program is going to be up and running for Travis to go to school.
That's sweet.
Yeah. But of course, Daphne and Regina are still at each other's throats. Regina, understands and is dealing with her own way, and Daphne is still spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
I think at this moment we want to get into predictions.
My favorite part.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So we see in the promo that Daphne is still in trouble and still spiraling down. Wes, you don't know who that is, that's fine, knows that she did something really bad with Nacho, we assume. What do you think is going to happen, knowing just what you know?
Okay, here's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I think she's going to continue with her downward spiral until someone, maybe her sister, maybe a boy, someone is like, hey, you're hurting yourself. And then she's going to realize that it's too late for her to kind of pull out of that spiral. And then she has to find a way to like help give back to the community because she's just been in the spiral and she needs to find a way to pull out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I agree that this downward spiral is going to continue.
Great.
That's all I know. I have no other predictions. I think Bay's parents are going to get mad that she's planning to move with Emmett for him to go to USC, and she has no plan.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up real quick, I want to remind our fans and listeners that we are having a giveaway. We're giving away an ABC Family fan to fan yourself, learn the ASL alphabet deck of cards from Switched at Birth, and Catherine's first book, the Switched at Birth story. So we're giving that away. You have to follow both me and Melina on Twitter and Instagram, then Instagram a photo and a description of what Switched at Birth means to you using the hashtag ABTVSAB. That's AfterBuzz Television Switched at Birth. And on that note, Jesse, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter on @JessKlein1. This Sunday you can see me on the Weather Channel in a show called Fat Guys in the Woods, where me and my two friends survive in the hills of Tennessee.
Great.
Yeah.
The people can find me online at yael.tv. That's YAEL.tv. And there you'll find info about the beautiful stylings from Siren's Boudoir. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And we will see you next week with Melina for Switched at Birth.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.